Hey everyone, Tuan here. In today's conference tracker in a nutshell, I want to talk about printing badges. After designing your badge with our in-house designer, you'll be able to quickly print out large amounts of badges all at once, or you can print them one at a time. Either way, you'll be able to painlessly get your badges ready for your event. To start off, let's talk about the tools you'll need to print out your badges. I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but you're going to need a printer and printer paper if you want to print out badges. Unbelievable, I know. As far as the printer goes, you can use any regular old printer you want, whether that be a laser printer or an inkjet. As long as it can take a standard 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, you're golden. If you're planning to have a printer for on-site printing, it gets a little trickier. You can still use a regular printer, but if you want to print badges out one at a time, you might want to look into a specialized badge printer. You can get a thermal label writer for pretty cheap, but just make sure that it has a 4x3 paper roll available. That's the size we use for our on-site badge printing template. Now, for the printer paper, you can actually just use regular old printer paper if you want. Or you can use cardstock if you're into that. Just make sure it fits your printer of choice. You'll have to cut the badges out yourself though. I'm always going to recommend that you buy badge labels that have perforated edges so that you can just tear off each badge. Specifically, I highly recommend the Avery 5392 4x3 badge labels. They're the most common size, and they're cheap, and we all know how much we all love saving money, right? Alright, now that we have that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. You're going to want to click here to get the badge printing page. The first thing you'll have to choose is the badge design. When you click on this drop-down menu, you'll be able to see all the badge designs you've created so far. So, if you made a badge design specifically for your attendees, be sure to choose that one. Also remember that the badge size is connected to the badge design, so if you want to change the size of the badge, change it in the designer. After that, you can customize the badges generation. This section is very awkwardly worded, so let me explain. Let's say you're wanting to print badges using the Avery 5392 format. This is a 4x3 badge size, and they print 6 to a page. What you can actually do is change where the badges will start printing using the Customized Badges Generation section. By default, it is set to skip 0 spaces, so the first badge will always appear at the top left corner. However, if you change that skip number to 1, it will skip the first space and will instead begin printing badges on space number 2 here. If you change that skip number to 4, then it will begin printing on space number 5. The goal of this feature was to let you save paper. Let's say you're on site and need to only print 3 badges out for some folks that just walked in. You go and print them out, and now you've got a sheet of perfectly good paper that still has 3 spaces on it. If your printer allows it, you'll be able to reload this paper in and use the skip feature to print out on the rest of the paper. This will save you on costs while helping you save the planet at the same time. You gotta save the trees, right? Moving right along, now we can choose which badges we want to print. All of them, the ones changed after the last time they were printed, or the ones changed after a certain time period. These latter 2 options are good for when you have to make changes for a small number of badges, and you don't feel the need to print out every single one just to get the ones you made changes to. If you want to print out badges for only the people in a certain group, you can do that by selecting a specific group in the Members Of field here. The rows box right below that allows you to print all the people with each row that is selected. You can actually select multiple rows if you hold Control on your keyboard and click the rows you want to add. This prints out each person that were given these roles. You can actually use this row selection in combination with the Members Of field, so this allows you to print out people with specific roles in a specific group. Lastly, you can print out specific people using this bottom field. You can keep adding people to this list just by searching up their name. When you're finally ready to print out your badges, you just need to press one of these Generate buttons. The Generate All button here will take into account the settings you selected above, and the Generate button down here will just generate the specific people you've added to this list. I'm just going to click Generate All Badges for now. After patiently waiting for a few seconds, you'll notice this message pop up. This means that your badges are ready. Clicking on View will open your badges in a PDF file in another tab on your browser. You'll be able to see all your badges in this file, so I recommend that you take a quick scroll through them before you actually print them. If they all look satisfactory to you, then we can begin the printing process. So even though we could technically print straight from this page, I'm actually going to recommend you download the file instead. The reason for this is because if you print straight from the web browser, you might notice that the badges will be slightly offset from the labels. That's implying you're using the paper with the perforated edges. If you plan on cutting out the badges for yourself, then it doesn't really matter, so you can just print straight from the web browser. Everyone else though, go ahead and download the file like so, and open it up with your preferred PDF viewer. which would hopefully be some sort of version of Adobe Reader. After that, go ahead and attempt to print. Before you actually hit print though, we're going to need to change one setting. Make sure under here that you have it set to actual size. Typically it's set to shrink oversized pages, but we want actual size. Once you set that, go ahead and print, and then your beautiful creations will start pouring out of your printer. The whole process is pretty simple, so you shouldn't run into many problems. If you do though, please feel free to contact me at conftrack@engineerica.com. I should return any inquiries within a day. With that being said, I hope you all have a great one.